What's up, everybody? Rob J. Spec Nakamura, and I'm glad to be here for another episode of Split Decisions. And you're probably thinking to yourself, Split Decisions? I've never seen this before. Well, we're 8 episodes deep, so why not? But before I get into that, I'm gonna introduce the fellas. My man, so start with Ricky. How you doing?
I'm living life, feeling great. My son is on summer vacation, so I'm a little more tired than usual, but I'm going to truck through it. Episode 8, 2 months in. Where the hell has the time gone? It seems like we just started getting this thing going. Thank you guys. If you guys are watching, if you've been watching since the first one and you're still here with us, thank you. Share, tell people this is where you're at. This is where your comments are going to be pulled up. This is where we're going to be able to interact and engage with you. And this is where you're going to be able to see fighters, whether they're past, present, or possibly even future in the UFC and these other big promotions that you're a fan of. So thank you guys for being here. Like and subscribe as always while you're here as I send it over to my boy Sean.
We're back, dude. I don't even know what week it is. I don't even know what day it is. Ricky said it best earlier before the show started. So another episode, interacting with the fans, especially this weekend. I'll be at UFC 302 in Newark. So meet me out there. I know if this episode caught you late, hopefully I already met you already, and that's why you're watching this episode. So
what's up, guys? I'm Christos, Spartan Giagos, UFC lightweight, and you're watching Split Decisions. Let's go.
What's up, everybody? Jay Spec, the host here. And what did I tell you? We're going to have special guests, and this time it's no different. We have the ultra-talented, ultra-funny Fabio Cherant. How you doing?
What up? How's it going? I'm doing great.
Hell yeah. I just got to give a little history lesson to those seeing this now. When I first started doing interviews, when I first started doing this, I did it in audio format. I still do it on the X platform via Spaces. But you, my friend, Mr. Cherant, was the very first fighter to be a guest on my show multiple years ago. And I just want to say thank you. And I'm really happy to get to this chance to talk with you again.
It's my pleasure, bro. It's been a while since I've done this. And yeah, man, I'm excited to get the ball rolling, you know?
We have the ultra talented Christos Giagos. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Happy to be on. Thanks for having me, and ready to give a good show, you know?
Hey, giving a good show is what you always do, it seems like, and I'm glad you're here to do it with us. My man, just jump in. We're going to just straight jump into you. How are you doing? Anything that you want the fan or the world to know about?
I'm doing great, you know, just enjoying my new life in Florida. So that's been good for the past 3 years. I've all the adjustments done. But besides that, you know, I'm doing great. I'm hoping to get booked again pretty soon. Probably August, September is what I'm hoping for. But besides that, just, you know, having fun, enjoying Florida, adapting to the new team, and got to keep pushing forward, you know?
And that's it. That's what we're here to do, connecting fighters, noted people in the MMA community, getting the facts, getting the information, getting that crossover from what we think as fans from the outside and what's really going on. That too, Ricky, full blown. We're
So
making
how
that
you do connections.
Yeah, we're making yes.
Sign language, a universal sign language for connections is this.
And if you go like this, it's something else, right? Like
disconnected.
There you go, smart man. So we have fun with this. Obviously, we look for facts, we throw jokes around, and might as well get right into the first topic. One that 2 out of 3 of us know about, and that is mystical dad strength. All right, mystical dad strength. We be hearing it, we be seeing it. It's a thing. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I don't know. But I'll say this, that there seems to be a pretty solid patch of evidence that suggests that it doesn't last very long, that it is real, but it's fleeting. Maybe you get it for like 1 or 2 fights, but that deep, primal, ancient mysticness connected to the earth, that when our offspring first come into this world, just for a little bit, we're super dangerous. Maybe, kind of, sort of. I'm gonna go to the man who also is in the dad club with me, Ricky. Do you think mystical dad strength is real?
Sorry, Sean and I are fucking idiots sometimes. But yes, it is real and it's not mythical. It's I'm gonna fucking for all this like, oh, it's mythical and it's just random. No, it is 100% real, and it makes perfect sense why it is real. And I'm about to explain it to you now. When you are a father of a newborn baby, that child can't do shit. That child can't walk. It can't do anything. You have to carry it. You have to carry it in a big ass thing that weighs a shit ton. Then you have to get the stroller, and you can't get some little umbrella stroller. No, you got to get the big ass stroller that's heavy as hell and take that out. Then you got to pack and unpack everything. And then when the diaper bag's too heavy, guess who's carrying it? You. And when the baby needs to be changed in a weird location, guess who's changing that baby? You. The dad's got to do all the heavy lifting while that little tiny human can't do anything for themselves. That's why dad strength is a real thing, because you're working out when you're not even thinking about it. You're lifting weights when you're not even thinking about lifting weights. You're just doing it. And then it fades off a little bit once that child starts being able to fend for itself and do things. Then you get lazy, and then you're like, hey, son, go get me a drink. Yeah. Hey, son, go get me this. Yeah. Hey, open the door for me. Hey, throw out the trash for me. And then you start deteriorating over time. So that new dad strength is in those first couple years when your child can't do a damn thing. That's when that dad strength really excels. So it's not mythical. It is real, 100%.
There you go. Real mythical dad strength. Maybe we have a different point of view on this. I'm on Ricky's side. Part of Team Dad here. I think that's real, because what Ricky said really hit home. You don't get conned into buying the easy to fold, the lightest, easiest to fold stroller. You don't get that one. You get the one with the 8 airbags and the proximity sensors. That's the one you end up buying. Sean, you don't have any kids. You probably don't care. New mystical dad strength, real or not?
I don't have any kids, but let me quote the great Onika Tanya Mirage Petty, and all these bitches are my sons. And if you're wondering who that is, that's Nicki Minaj. So yeah, I think dad strength is real, and when you get to that dad strength, you do have this like, hey, I'm gonna man you around, boss you around. You heard the fighters today; they were kind of feeling it. I really do think you're gonna have some dad strength when it comes to fighting. I think it gives you a little bit extra motivation. You definitely have something extra to provide for. So yeah, I think it's a big deal.
Definitely a big deal. It's probably how we survived through the eons previously. I'm not gonna lie. But with that being said, we have wonderful guests in this episode, and I'm happy to hear their thoughts on this as well, because they're in the dad club too. There's something else you got the ball rolling on, and that was fatherhood, right? So I just
Yeah.
yeah, that's a big one. I gotta ask you, man. Obviously, you're training, you're getting into your fight soon. We'll get into that. But hey, everybody talks about it. I gotta bring it to you. Is new dad strength a real thing?
I guess that's a question we're gonna have to find out in a couple of weeks.
That's right. Couple
I
of weeks.
I don't feel any different. I've felt the same way that I've felt since I started doing this. It's we'll see. We'll see. I'm trying to get the mystical dad fighter status. I guess dads go undefeated, so I'm trying to get it going.
I am. That's a funny question you say that, because, well, we'll see when the kid comes out, actually, because it's a little different. I know my wife is pregnant, so I do have this new feeling of like, I wanna work hard for my kid, but then there's a big part of me that's like, yo, I want to be around for my kid. I don't want to kill my body too much, and like, because I used to want to stay in this sport as long as I can take it, but now I start thinking like, how much longer do I want to do this now? Because I want to be around for my kid and play with my kid and stuff like that. So I start battling these, like, I do want to work hard and make a lot of money and do well by my kid, but I also want my body to, hold up as well. So I got to find that happy balance. And, but I mean, I'm not saying this over now by far, but we'll see when he comes out what happens. I'm excited. I'm having a boy, but I've wanted to be a dad for so long. So yeah, I'm very excited and blessed. And hopefully when he comes out, it gives me this new drive. You know, who knows? We'll see. I did feel it in my last fight, even though I didn't win. I did go in there like, you're about to be a dad. You're about to be a dad. And you know, I tried to be as tough as I could, but you know, the fucking tall guys, they be getting you sometimes.
Yeah. No,
That was a
congratulations on that though, man. You and your family,
Thank you. I
congratulations.
appreciate that. I'm super
def-
excited.
definitely, man. That's what's up. And also extra, Spartan Junior coming along the way. That's what's up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is gonna be a Spartan Junior for sure.
Excellent, dude. I like that a lot. And sometimes we've seen this before. Even though something's happening, the sometimes mystical forces, and I'm playing around with this, of course. The mystic dad strength. It won't be official till Spartan Junior.
Yeah.
Is here.
He's
So
actually born. I get to see that breath.
we'll measure that one at that time. So gambling in our sport, it's in all sports. Maybe a problem now. I don't know. I'll even say that it's maybe a problem. I just reshared a post that shared this past month 7% of the casino's revenue went up 7% here in Las Vegas from people losing more. So it just said up 7%. It didn't even say like how far they're kicking your ass in the first place. And they made $1.2 billion in a month. You know how that's crazy. Anyways, going back to sports and the gambling that goes all around with it. I'm not here to talk about all the sports, but just kind of in general, there is a huge factor in betting now with everything, but more specifically our sport, combat sports, the ones we care about. It seems to literally be the biggest topic that everyone talks about week after week after week after week. Analyzing the skill sets, looking at the matchups, what's most probable to happen, it feels like that has fallen to the back burner, and everybody's just looking at some goofball odds or some shitbag parlay that you're probably going to lose because, well, I have the data and I don't care how you feel about that. Guys, I'm going to get to your guys' thoughts on gambling and the presence in the sport. This time I'm going to start with Sean.
Yeah, I think see, I don't gamble. I also don't advise gambling. I've been on gambling shows, and I am sure I'll be on more gambling shows. And every time I go on them, I advise you right before, do not take anything that I say during this show. So, with that being said, I do think gambling is a huge part of the sport, though. I'm able to, as a fan of just like reading fights or just like wanting to get a breakdown on a fight, right? I know how a fight will look stylistically just from watching the sport, knowing the sport, seeing how these two styles play out, seeing how their past fights went, if I'm talking about two different fighters who are about to fight each other. But yeah, I think when you see a line, it really helps you determine like where the majority is going with. Sometimes you get that popular fighter who might pull a line a certain direction and it might not really give the true tale. But when you're getting like maybe like a fight night card where you're getting a prelims or even an early prelims on a pay-per-view, you see a lot of no-name fighters where like there's not a lot of popularity drawing these lines a certain way. So that's where I'm really intrigued on like, hey, this is where like line plays into like where I'm interested in a fight. But yeah, where betting and people losing money and then they're calling out fighters, that shit is bullshit to me.
Big time bullshit. Ricky, what's up?
It's just number one bullshit. Listen, if you're gonna bet, guys, if you're somebody that wants to put money on, I know it makes it exciting. It makes you a little more emotionally invested into the fights. Bet big. Bet everything you have. Stop with this whole bet responsibly thing. Go fucking huge. Make it to the point where you might kill someone if you lose this bet. You might kill yourself if you lose this bet. Do that. Stop being scared. You got to risk it for the biscuit. Go all out. And if not, fuck it. You only live once. Here for a good time, not a long time, like Drizzy Drake said. No, in all seriousness, I don't bet, guys. I don't really have too much to offer you in this situation in terms of what it does for the sport and its presence. I think it continues to, and it in this sport and every sport, it just makes people think that betting is the end all be all to any sport itself. Like, oh, the fighter lost because of this. They gave the fighter this fight because they want to boost the odds or they want to take money. It was rigged. It's like, dude, nobody cares about your personal bet. I promise you. Like, they're all trying to win. And yes, unless your name's James Krause, they don't care. They're all trying to win money by fighting, not betting. And it's unfortunate because we did see the stain already on the UFC and in combat sports in general. We've seen it in boxing, a whole bunch of things that have gone on. So that stain kind of messes it up. And then for the fans, it just kind of, the part that I do like is it does make you really emotionally invested, where people are really in tune for a fighter that they wouldn't otherwise care about. Like Sean was saying, someone on the early prelims, it's like, oh, this whatever, I can't pronounce his name right, he's got to win and he's got to do in the second round because he's part of my 6-leg parlay. It's like, hey man, knock your socks off. If that's what's going to get you more invested into these early fights or these fights that you wouldn't have cared about, sure, whatever. That's my take.
Sure, whatever. He mentioned stains. Have you ever been to Las Vegas, which I hope you have? You might have noticed that your room doesn't have a balcony and you can't open the windows. That's because way too many people took Ricky's advice back in the day and they just bet their whole life and couldn't face their family anymore and just decided to take a nice stain mark on the side of the concrete for those reasons. Now, you know what's really weird? Now, when I go into this a little further, do you know that only like the penthouses and like executive suites have balconies, saying that like rich people wouldn't kill themselves because they got the money and life's pretty good? So just think about that. If you're not in that column of life good enough where they automatically think that you won't off yourself because of your gambling stuff, if you rent a hotel room in Vegas and it doesn't have a balcony, that's your life check right there on maybe where you're at and what you're doing. But once again, good luck. If you do, good luck. But don't put it on the participants. Don't make this shit personal. That's your game. That's what you're doing with your money. Don't take what you're doing with your money and put it on somebody else, because we got the take of two wonderful athletes on this topic.
Like betting on fights? Gambling?
Yeah. Just it seems like everywhere you go or every fight, it's like there's less emphasis on the skills and more just talking about what the odds could be or what the outcome from betting could be.
Yeah. I guess I don't get the experience, I think, the same thing that you're experiencing, because I guess the most people I hang out with are like fighters or know a lot about the sport. And I think when you know a lot about the sport, it's different than just on a regular fan base. On a fan base, I can see how the whole gambling odds and all of that will come into factor because of them not having as much knowledge in the sport. So I don't really see the whole gambling thing too much, especially now that a lot of UFC fighters are not even allowed to gamble on fights. But that one's a tough one because I only really look at fights for skills, and I usually talk about it with other guys who know a lot about fighting by skills. But so that's a tough question. It's hard to answer because I don't think I experienced what you're experiencing.
And that's totally fair because I'm not experiencing what you're experiencing, and I'm actually, just for the record, I'm not a gambler, dude. I'm not into that stuff.
I wish I could gamble on fights, but now I just stick to football.
Good. Hey, good for you. That's what's up. Kind of just spinning this. I don't know if you've ever heard. Obviously, you didn't have an experience with it, but maybe some of your friends, because we heard from some pros that sometimes, if you take a loss, I mean, there's toxic fans that will like DM them and be like, you lost me a lot of fucking money. Like, have you ever heard of something like that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I've gotten it. I've gotten a lot of hate shit, so you deal with that. It sucks, but I think it's just, if you're going to be a public figure in the view of a lot of people watching, that's just something that comes with the territory. It happens to everybody, not just fighters, all athletes, celebrities, reality TV stars. I watch reality TV with my wife, so they talk about that same stuff. So it's part of it. So you see it, you feel it, but like I'm pretty good at just like they're nobody. They're a keyboard warrior. They get pleasure by seeing other people suffer. So if they want to talk shit, or if people really did lose money on gambling and are mad, then that's your fault for gambling, So you just got to learn how to kind of reverse psychology it and not let it bother you. But yeah, I mean, everybody's different. I'm sure some people it gets to them more. I just For me, I just fuck them.
That is a wonderful answer that we apply quite often. Terrible.
Bro, you know how many fighters I've personally bet on that have lost me money, and I'm like, look, like I get it, and I think that's what it is. These people don't fucking understand the life, so they just think, oh, them hammering a bet and they're losing is like as fucking as bad as like say somebody like me that like is in that lifestyle that'll bet on a fight and then they lose money. What are we gonna do? Slide in the fucking fighter's DM and be like, yo, you fucking loser, you should go kill yourself. You lost your fight. Ha 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 ha. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna take it on the chin and move on. Like, dude, like, don't gamble your whole life fucking savings because you don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. If you do it responsibly, you shouldn't have to worry about anything. You know what I mean? When you're fucking betting big bucks on a sport that is the most fucking unpredictable thing in the world, you should be ready for the outcomes. You know what I mean? Like, who would have fucking thought that Juliana Pena was gonna beat Amanda Nunes? No fucking person. None.
None.
And I bet you the people that did bet on her were just like, take this money and like I was gonna buy a cup of coffee with it, but here's this fucking 10-20 bucks I'm gonna put on Juliana Pena. I know she's gonna lose, but if she wins, I'm gonna be up big. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that, bro. Like, it's gambling. You know what I mean? Don't come in my fucking DMs and bitch about it. I don't give a fuck, dude. I could care less. Like, I just lost more than you fucking gambled. Like, what are you talking to me about?
These guys getting hate DMs. Like, I'm gonna spin this in a little further. I'm gonna go triple box here, just real quick, fellas. Just your take on the guys getting fucking hate DMs. Like, where? Real quick, Sean, what level of you're messed up inside do you got to be sending DMs because you lost the fucking bet?
Yeah, it's bullshit, dude. Like I said it before. I think you got to be some sort of deranged to think that a person owes you money because of your mistake of gambling and betting on them. That person owes you nothing. That person owes you absolutely zilch. So stop going to these people and making it like it's their problem because they already went through something to begin with. And now they're getting random messages from you because you decided to involve yourself in their life. Forget about it, dude.
Forget about it. Ricky, you're quick on that kind of inside out toxic behavior.
Imagine imagine anybody thinking that it's going to have any impact or they have any impact on a fighter. Like, it's just, get over yourself. You're not that important. Imagine Dustin Poirier being like, damn, dude, if I knew you had $20 on me by submission, I would have finished that guillotine. The only reason I didn't is because I didn't know you had $20 on it. Like, bro, nobody cares. You're not that important. Let them do their thing. Like I said, if you can't handle it, then don't do it. If you're gonna be emotionally torn after the fact. And one thing I think is hilarious though is you were just talking about the casinos being up, right? Being up 7% or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Isn't it hilarious that the more and more experts we have on betting, the richer and richer the casinos become? All of these new experts and gambling sites and follow us and take our picks is just
Bullshit.
feeding into it. I'm like, how many experts are there if everybody's only losing more money? Like, it's mind blowing.
That's right, and that's why some of you have seen my campaigns and my random shots that I take at these experts, because there aren't, and if there were, guess what? If they were really that sharp, they would end up working for the bookies. That's kind of how it works. Like, good hackers end up working for the CIA. That's how shit works, people. But if you're on X, which many of you are, selling your picks, and I talk shit to you, well, know it because you're a loser. I'm just going to take it with that. And there's a known branded loser who took fake cash and preparation. No, not you this time, Ricky.
Shit,
not this time. Wait.
I'm the known loser.
No. A guy that we all know because every time he places a bet, the whole internet fucking retweets it because this is propaganda and by design to make gambling seem more normal. And let's talk about this guy, Drake, Aubrey Graham, by Canadian
BBL
government
Drizzy.
law. Anyways, he's a known loser in the sense of gambling. This guy is maybe the worst picker of any sport in the history of all sports. He literally cannot get a random pick in any sport to save $500,000 because that's usually what he bets, anywhere from 200K to 500K. This guy is wildly missing the mark on pretty much every major sporting event, which is incredible to me. And I just want to know for your guys' take. Do you really think the Drake curse is real? I'm gonna start with Ricky.
Is the Drake curse real? I mean, no, because we've seen it broken a few times. Like it's hit and miss. And first of all, Drake, from my understanding, isn't even the one putting up any money. Like he's not actually betting any of his money. It's like a brand deal with stake to be like, we're using your name. Just tell us who you would pick, basically, and we just say, hey, this fucking he's putting $500,000 on it when he really isn't. But yeah, I mean, listen, Drake is always gonna to pick whoever the most popular person is, and then sometimes the most popular person wins, sometimes the most popular person doesn't. Like that's just the way it goes. So is the Drake curse real? I don't think it's real, but it is hilarious. I wish it was more accurate. I wish it was 100% or something close to that, where I feel like there has been enough people to like break that curse to where it's not real.
Making the house stronger. That's what all betting propaganda is about. So, Sean, is this a curse or betting propaganda with Drake?
You know what, Drake, don't bet on any fighters I like. You're pissing me off. Back to Rob.
Boom. Just that easy. Just that simple. You're gonna say something on that? Look like you're ready to jump on that, dude.
Yeah, Drake just put $250,000 on Sean Strickland, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Put two separate bets.
I heard there's a lot of people jumping over Drake's fence. There's going to be another one.
Oh, nice. That was
Shout
funny.
out BBL Drizzy.
Hey, all right, next one. So, don't call it a comeback, since we're doing hip hop references and whatnot. Tyron Woodley making a pretty solid announcement that he's returning to MMA. He never really left the combat sports arena. You know where he went. He went into boxing. He went and got some nice duffel bags full of cash over there. But now he's making the pivot back into MMA, which is actually a new way of doing this. Usually we see guys, use up all the twilight years and the last serviceable years in high level MMA before they, set voyage on a new conquest of boxing and getting those cash fights. But Mr. Woodley kind of doing it his own way. He's coming back at age 42, which is very interesting to me. He called out a lot of people, a lot of famous people that you will get to know, because his fight will be done in Saudi Arabia, assumingly backed up by Turkey, and that's interesting and compelling to me. It really is. But the guys he's been calling out are well retired or busy or something, and it's starting to get kind of weird. Like, how many people do you have to call out and say, I'm giving you a big bag? Like, is the bag not big enough? Nobody just wants to fight you. Like, I don't understand any of it really. So, it's just kind of a lot of thoughts and questions floating around my mind. Tyron Woodley at 42 saying he's coming back to MMA. And I know you
care.
Okay, fair enough. Don't care.
Yeah, no, I just, when I say I don't care, I mean like cool, Tyron Woodley's coming back, like cool. But like if you told me fucking Conor McGregor is coming back after breaking his leg, after losing to Dustin and these other top level fucking guys, he's making a comeback to fight Michael Chandler in UFC 303.
Yep.
In June 29th, I'm gonna be like, shut up and take my money.
I see the big difference. What I was alluding to was, I know you just, that was a hammer, by the way, Fab. That was great.
You know what like seriously, like no disrespect to Woodley, he's a legend like in the sport, but like just stay retired, bro. You don't need the money. You made enough money fucking losing to Jake 2 times. Like, chill. You don't need this. Just enjoy your life, bro. Like, you don't have anything to prove, dude. You're one of the best welterweights to ever do it. You've defended your belt 3 or 4 times. Like, bro, what do you have to prove coming back? You know what I mean? People are just gonna call you broke and you need money, and I don't think you need money. You know?
There it is, my man. That was actually the road I was going to travel to, but I love how you threw some strong hammers down in between there. Just to spin off of that, because I was going to say, yeah, it seemed like he was having a good run of it, making good money in boxing. You were saying you would be interested if, hey, promoters, you guys ever see this? Call this man, Fabio Cherant. He would like to do the boxing. So there you go. That's what the part was like, dude, you had a whole nother world, you had a whole nother thing, and to come back to like what you said earlier,
Mhm.
one of the most hardest, most chaotic, most unpredictable things you could ever do is fight an MMA match. So, like you said, why?
He's not gonna make more money coming back to MMA than he would if he took up a boxing fight. That's for damn sure. I think he'll make more money boxing.
I'm gonna go to Sean though. Sean, coming back to MMA at 42 and calling out everybody. What's your take on that?
Yeah, to be honest with you, with Tyron Woodley, I wouldn't. I'm not interested to see him fight again at all. Whether it's in boxing, MMA, jiu-jitsu, running, I don't care what it is. I'm just off the Tyron Woodley track. I don't care if he's coming back. I don't care where it is. I don't care who it's against. No offense to Tyron, but like, hang it up, brother. 42. Like, I'm not really interested, and I'll tell you why. Because at the end of his career, he was already taking a downward spiral. He went to the boxing route. That didn't go too well. I'm just not interested in seeing one more resurgence or one more trip there. Like, I don't know what it's for. If it was somebody bigger, maybe, because I can't contradict myself from a few weeks ago when I said I'd rather see Nate Diaz and Masvidal in an MMA fight than a boxing fight. So like, but that's an example where it's two guys who are way bigger, and I would love to see that. So I believe we're going to talk about something else though that brings that point right back.
Bringing it right back. And yeah, man, that's a pretty good topic. He's kind of waited out, and there's only a few guys who's fought, in the north or near 42 that were still compelling, exciting, and competitive. The few that I can think of off the top of my head: H Bomb Henderson, the Natural Couture, and of course Glover Teixeira. Ricky, your thoughts on this comeback?
I agree with Sean, man. Like, we saw Tyron Woodley in MMA, and we saw his last few fights in the UFC, and it just wasn't there anymore. Like that Tyron Woodley that we knew, that was a world champion, that was, I mean, a great champion in his time, was gone. Like, it was just gone. It wasn't coming back. He went to boxing, got a couple bags from Jake Paul, and we know how that little saga ended with Jake Paul, with Tyron Woodley flatline out cold. So when you see that, and I see him being in some movies and having all these opportunities, I'm like, yeah, good for him. He's done with combat in general. He's going to move on to other things. He's going to be able to, take some of that money that he's earned and parlay it into different revenue streams and be able to really make a great living for himself, which, if I'm not mistaken, Tyron Woodley is really smart with money. And from what I've heard, he's done really well with his money. So I guess this is just one of those, like, he really just wants to keep fighting. But as far as his opponent, where, who, why, I have no idea. Depending on his opponent, I'll be intrigued. But will I be like, oh yeah, man, I can't wait for that one. Like, we got to go over it. I'm excited for this. Tyron Woodley's back, baby. Like, no, I don't. It would be, for me, it'd be like if Tony Ferguson lost again,
Which you will.
took off, went and boxed somebody, got knocked out, and then was like, I'm back in the MMA. You know what I mean? It's just like, why? I don't want to see you get hurt anymore, bro. Like, just have a good life. Have a good life. You don't need this anymore.
And that's it. That's where the line gets kind of mixed for us. Is like, we're always for combat sports. If the matchmaking, kind of like Sean pointed to, was more even, it's compelling. But we don't want to see our good fighters, our long-term fighters, just taking an ass kicking for no good reason. Now, with that being said, talking about a comeback, talking about coming back after all these years, type of subject, and it being celebrated on a grand scale, totally different response It's kind of funny how we see a guy with 42, and we've seen fighters be good at 42. It's not that bad. It's really not. And he's not like he's taking so much time away from combat sports. But another man who's been out of combat 20 plus years, making a comeback, and the whole world wants to see it. The whole world is dying to see it. There's probably more people talking about this than I could have ever expected. And that is the Tyson versus Jake Paul circus. That's what's really going on. It's a circus. Or at this point, there's so many things I got to cover within this. But luckily, we have a few guys to weigh in their opinions first in this whole thing, actually.
Man, this is Iron Mike we're talking about, you know. The only thing I'm scared of is his chin. If his chin holds up, I don't see Jake beating him. I see this fight going like this. Jake's gonna come out, he's gonna try to bully Mike, and he's a taller, bigger guy. Well, I don't think he's really that much bigger, but he's a taller guy for sure. He's gonna try to bully him like he did Nate, and Mike will shell up and start throwing short, choppy shots, uppercuts, hooks, and Jake's gonna get tagged, and he's gonna realize what the Iron Mike power is. You know what I mean? Like that. Like I just don't think you lose that power if you're Mike Tyson. And look at how good he looked against Roy Jones. You know what I mean? He looked really fucking good for a guy that age.
Yeah, that's right. He did. He did. And
They
that's
say
what
the power's the last thing to go too. So that
Yeah, man.
power.
I don't, dude. Did you see? There's a video. He almost knocked his coach out. Like when they were holding pads. I'm like, bro, like this guy still fucking throws very, very scary punches. You know?
I don't like how people are like, oh, it's not good for some, but then have this imaginary fantasy because from the 90s where we were much younger, some of us are kids, some of you weren't even born yet. And it was like Tyson, the magical, mystical creature that he was. Let's remember what Tyson was in 1990 and bring that back. Guys, I'm gonna go triple box here. And Tyson versus Paul, the recent thing that came out this week was in a medical emergency for Mike Tyson, which was falsely reported as delaying the airplane. The plane was not delayed because of Tyson. It was delayed because of an air conditioning issue. Come to find out later, they were saying, oh, he's all this kind of stuff. It turned out to be an ulcer. He had an ulcer flare up, as things do. But man, I mean, is this fight not turning into a full blown circus? I'm going to start with Ricky this time.
Yeah, I mean, it has been, right? From the beginning, that's what everybody was saying is like, how are you going to fight a weathered old Mike Tyson who we've seen with a cane before? We've seen, right? The image of him on a wheelchair out of it. It's like, and then the video of him running those sprint. I'm like, dude, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? I just don't understand it from the Jake Paul perspective. I'm assuming the bag is just undeniably big. I'm assuming that the offer and the deal he has with Netflix, that it has to be Mike Tyson in order for Netflix to do it. And if so, you know, I guess he's going to take the money. But yeah, man, it's just sad to see. Like when I look at Mike Tyson, I want to have hope. I want to remember the Mike Tyson who was once before. But the man has had like 3 full lives within one lifetime now. Like what he's gone through, what his body and his mind have gone through now, it's just not the same. Like it's just gone. And the last thing I want to see is Jake Paul just flatline Mike Tyson to a point where we're like, oh shit, we really have to think about how Mike Tyson's going to live the rest of his life after being KO'd in such a way. Now, part of me is still hanging on to that and saying, yeah, Jake Paul's still not world class. So maybe Mike Tyson is okay. Maybe the people that are training with him every day know what great boxers are capable of and know what Jake Paul's capable of. And maybe they feel secure in Mike going out there and performing. And they're like, hey, he's going to be all right. Like he's going to be able to withstand. But from everything we've seen, man, I'm just getting a real bad feeling going into this fight.
Real bad feelings. Hence the title once again. The ulcer and our heartburns. My heart is, I got the heartburn just looking and thinking about all the stuff you just said. Sean, what are you seeing?
Yeah, it's crazy to think about like a guy who's that old fighting a guy who's 27, relatively pretty young in the combat sports scene. I mean, it still blows my mind that this fight is even getting sanctioned, let alone being more and more forward to the actual pro rules and pro rules. I guess it is like a pro fight now, but dude, I don't know. I'm gonna buy into it. I'm gonna watch it. I guess it is a clown show. I guess it is a circus. But then again, I watch fucking whatever comes on every weekend. Like when there's no UFC card, no nothing on, we were out there watching. What's that stupid shit called? You guys fill me in. What was it called the other day?
Misfits
Misfit
boxing.
boxing.
Misfits boxing. There you go. So clown shows all around. I'm here to watch another one. And I already got a Netflix subscription, so hopefully they don't make me pay more. If they do, then fuck them.
Oh, you're definitely paying more. Get this in your head. All you Netflix subscribers, you think this fight is free? Just like
Well,
everything
fuck
else in
them.
life? It's gonna your cost to bring live sports to Netflix, your subscription's gonna rise like the flood. All right.
I'll be
Just
watching it like Osama in the cave, brother.
mean comparison. All right. So we're from one fighter that whose comeback and anticipation is like really low to another one where his comeback is, for the hardcores like us, we're kind of like cautious. We're like, uh-oh. The general public is like literally on fire. Like Mike, like it's not 58-year-old Mike Tyson about to fight. I know he's 57 now. He'll be 58 later this month. Anyways, point being, it's wild. All right. So in the spirit of fighting and fighters, older fighters, and being matched up appropriately, in my opinion, we have something else coming our way. Silva versus Sonnen. That's right. Anderson Spider Silva versus Chael, the real estate agent Sonnen. In boxing. Now, I think we already know that there's a pretty solid advantage to Chael, right? Chael's beat this guy twice. This is going into a 3-0 full shutout type of scenario. But I just want to remind everybody a thing that happened not that long ago. The Iceman Liddell versus Tito Ortiz. Tito was down 2-0 for no good reason. They had another fight. Yes, it was still in MMA. And guess what? Bam! Tito knocked him out, and everybody got their feelings hurt. Everybody cried a little except me. And I remember being the only guy inside of the Twin Peaks pointing and laughing at everybody else. But that's not the point. The point is, this is a boxing match which super favors Silva, in my opinion, for a couple of reasons. But good thing we got the opinions of some guys who've actually been in the cage, been in the ring themselves.
I think it's great. You know, I like everyone talks shit on the like the Paul brothers. There's Jake Paul, Paul brothers. I think I think it's very entertaining. You know, I'm not somebody that ever talks shit, but I get why people talk shit. But to me, I'm just like, listen, you guys are gonna watch. They're entertainment. Just enjoy it. Sit back. Why talk about it and let their fame hurt you for whatever reason? You know what I mean? Or I don't know why it bugs so many people. I think it's fun to watch. If they want to beat each other up for money, I'm gonna watch, and I think it's great. I like to see MMA guys do it too because that gives hope to maybe me one day doing a boxing fight for some money. So that gets me excited. But I would love to do one of those. But I love Anderson Silva. I think he's one of my favorite fighters of all time. I've actually trained with him in California a bunch, and his son. So, but I think. And in that fight itself, I think Chael Sonnen has no business getting in the boxing ring with him, to be honest. But we'll see. Like I said, it's entertainment. Anything can happen.
I think this will be their third fight.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is the trilogy.
Even though Anderson's 2-0, but look, I would always watch Anderson fight. He's an exciting guy to watch fight. Like that, I'll say shut up and take my money because I know I'm gonna see people getting punched. I'm not gonna see any hugging. I'm not gonna see any fucking any break in action. You know what I mean? Anderson throws heat, and only reason why I wouldn't want to see it is because I don't think Chael has the hands to box.
respect. I think that's the initial reaction from all of us, the community at large, the bookies, obviously putting Mr. Silva, and obviously from our point of view, and you're sharing yours, that's why it makes it so obvious. Yeah, because Chael's not known for his hands. Not saying he, can't fight or can't throw punches, but
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
that's definitely a whole different thing. And we've never seen. I don't think anybody has any footage of Chael just strictly boxing.
I think he'll
So
do better than Ben Askren.
I agree. I agree.
You know, like I think he'll make the fight way more exciting. It'll last way longer, but I just don't see him doing anything to beat Anderson in boxing.
and we're gonna jump from that to the boys' opinions. We're gonna get these guys' opinions. Sean, starting with you.
Yeah, I have no clue why everybody's been saying it favors Silva. Crazy how everybody's picking against a guy who's never lost a fight, let alone a round in his whole entire life. But that being said, no, I agree. I'm hoping Chael comes out there, throws some verbal jabs in the press conferences leading up. And then we all know how the fight's going to go. Anderson is as crisp as it gets for his age, and it's going to be hard for Chael, I think, to come in and box the way that Anderson's been boxing. I mean, he fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., he fought Jake Paul,
Tito.
Tito, and he's been pretty fucking good in every single fight, even the Jake Paul one, which he lost. So, with that being said, I don't think Chael can just come off the couch and beat him in a game that he's looking like an ace at for his age.
Looking like an ace. And I want to jump in with that and just say Chael has been chilling and commentating. I know he still trains and stays fit, but Anderson doing the same thing plus being active in the sport. We hear it all the time from guys, like it's a different rule set, it's a different thing. You got to calibrate yourself to that sport, and zero calibration publicly so far. Ricky, what's your anticipations or feelings about this fight?
Going into, I expect Anderson Silva to win. I expect it to go really well for him. Especially in a boxing match with Chael Sonnen. I don't know, man. I've never looked back and been like, ooh, Chael's boxing is fucking crisp. Like, that's where his strength is. Like, no, Anderson should make this one look pretty easy. I do know Chael is very fond of the steroids, and I know he has been on a lot of them. So maybe that'll make it interesting. Maybe he'll go out there, just roid rage out. But the one thing Sean said too is like the jabs, the verbal jabs that Chael would throw and the back and forth in the press conference. This is a different day and age, man. They're cool with each other. They like each other. They're kind of doing it as a partnership. They're not doing it because there's any bad blood. I don't expect Chael to go at Anderson the way he would have in the past. I don't expect there to be any lines crossed, and that might take some of it away. But this is one of those, like, it's cool. I hope none of them get hurt, and I'm sure they're doing it for a good reason, and it is what it is. I don't think either one of them need the money. I don't think either one of them are hurting for anything or doing this kind of against their will. So credit to them. I hope it's fun and entertaining.
Hope it's fun and entertaining. Yeah, I'm actually wondering what kind of verbal magic tricks Chael's going to use this time, because like you said, the bad blood isn't there anymore. They actually have seems like a pretty solid friendship nowadays, and being featured in Spider's show and whatnot, and them like hanging out together and watching the film. Like I was like, oh, okay, these guys are a totally different stage of their life and stuff, which is totally cool to see. Yeah, I'm fascinated by it. I'm actually completely perplexed as to what Chael is gonna offer here, other than some good mic zingers. I know he's good for that, but like, what is he gonna bring to the table, aka into the ring? I'm gonna watch literally just because I'm compelled to. Like, this dude's gonna do nothing, so that's why I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch the nothing unfold and hope that something magical happens to entertain us inside the ring, not just before and after. Now, bonus topic that I didn't really plan on talking about, but I think it's really important that we do. Something that just happened over this past weekend in a regional event. I'm sorry, I forgot the event's names. No disrespect to anybody, but it featured a fighter. Since we talked about betting earlier and no longer able to bet on yourself, this man is basically most noted for betting everything his entire fight purse on himself and then losing. His name was Justin James, not was, he's still alive. I don't mean it like that. Justin James participated in MMA this past week. And I wonder if the guys saw it. When I saw it, I'm going to bring it up. He fought, he got knocked out, and the team recorded the way he kind of was coming back, and not in the octagon, backstage. This is something a lot of people don't see. I've had the privilege and a little bit of the heartache of being backstage when my cousin got finished once, and it's really uncomfortable. Like, if you have any sentiment and feelings for those people, what, like, and this is why I go onto a soapbox and talk shit to people who talk shit to fighters, because you have no idea what they go through before, during, and after said event to just entertain you for a little bit. Sure, they're getting paid, but this is an entertainment business. It's for you, and when they disrespect, it's cold blooded to me. So Justin James, fellas, I'm before I describe it, did you guys see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I saw some of it. It was he was backstage and he was like, I didn't tap right. Like did I tap? And they were like, no, it was a head kick or something. And he was just like, oh, okay. And then he just kind of kept repeating it. And he was just like, what's it? He's like, but I didn't tap out, right? They're like, no, it was a head kick or whatever. And he was like, damn. He was like, so what caught me? They're like, a head kick. And they're like, oh, okay. So yeah, man. I mean, yeah, when your brain bounces off the walls of your skull, you're gonna have some repercussions. There's gonna be some foggy memories. I mean, how many times have we seen fighters say like, "Oh yeah, dude, I was out before I went out. I was out before the fight stopped, and the next thing I remember, I was backstage. Like I was out for a while. I don't remember walking out of the octagon or the ring or anything. I mean, it's what's gonna happen. It is unfortunate, and that's why you, like Rob said, always keep into account that you're not the one in there getting your head smashed in or taking the risk of getting your head smashed in. So when there's a fighter, that's airing some of their pain or their struggles through the camp or through anything at all, just remember you're not the one going in there. You're not the one putting that type of footage out, right? How many of you are too coward to ever allow something like that? Even having that type of footage of yourself would completely tear you apart. For him, that's just part of the game, and that's why they deserve that much respect. So unfortunate to see, man. I hope he's good. I hope he's doing all right. I hope there's no like lasting effects, but unfortunately, we know that a lot of times there are.
And yeah, there could be, and then sometimes there's not. We've had the privilege of having some fight veterans in the game who took some mean ass kickings, and they're totally good. And that's the thing with this. There's so much luck of the draw that goes with it. But like you said, just going back to the video footage, yeah, Ricky pretty much nailed it. He's just like, oh, I didn't tap. He doesn't even know how he gets finished. And over and over and over again, he's like, so what? And they're like spinning heel kick, spinning heel kick. He's like, oh, okay, and your memory is they say psychologically when you face brain trauma or something like that, the brain kind of just erases those memories just for self-preservation. Now, Sean, I don't know if you caught that video, but obviously you heard us explaining it. Do you have any thoughts and feelings about, a UFC vet or just everybody in general who's in combat sports and just this whole scenario of what it's like for real, for real?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a game. It's all serious for real. And that goes to show. I mean, you can be fully aware or have your wits about you 1 second, and then kind of be a completely different person the next after something changes like that. I mean, yeah, I hope all is well to him. I guess to make some light of it, I mean, if you're betting on yourself, don't do that. Bet against you. You always take the go against yourself. So if you lose, you get a little bit of money back. So the day's not completely terrible. So that's the pro way to do it.
It's called PC the Hedge Master right there. He's hedging. All right, that's high level strategy, folks. Yes, I'm not a man of gambling. You guys know that, but that is my advice. And people think I'm crazy. I always say bet against your favorite team because, well, if your favorite team wins, well, you just get to be happy that your favorite team won. And if they lose, at least you get some cash, But anyways, that's this is how it goes. Jokes in. This is the time where we say some thank yous. I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting everywhere. whether it's here right now on Split Decisions every Friday, and we release a new episode every Friday, whether it's during our live watch parties on X for every UFC event and major combat sports endeavor, which, by the time you see this, it'll probably be too late, but 302 and 5 versus 5 matchroom versus Queensberry. So that's going to be cool. Join us everywhere. And last but not least, our new baby, our new mystical dad strength happens one more time because we have a live show on Sundays, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, just live on X. And we just review a little bit of preview, live action, what we just saw. Well, it's fresh on the memory because this brain's been rattled around too much and I can't remember too much as the week goes by. So we break down the exact right after it happens. Our exact feelings are fresh. And guys,
I mean, just thank you to anybody who's watching this, who likes it, who enjoys this. I hope you enjoyed it. You get to learn a little bit about me. And thank you to all my, my training partners always, my family, my beautiful wife, Victoria. But yeah, just thank you for who's watching. Those are the most important people right there.
I just want to thank my family, my coaches, teammates, friends. If you support me, thank you. Keep supporting me. Strap in. We got a long year left, and it's going to be an exciting one. Shit, man. Shout out to you guys, right? Split Decision, for having me on here and showing love always. And yeah.
I'll start with Ricky. Any thank yous you want to send out there?
No, man. Just thank you to the fight gods that have been blessing us with some great action. Boxing's on fire. 4-ounce Muay Thai, like always, man. Can't wait for the Friday. Some big one stuff coming up. Not next week, but the following. And UFC, man. Thank you so much. Have another big time pay-per-view coming up. Can't wait for that. Fight gods have been blessing us. And thank you guys that have been here and watching. Really means the world to us.
Truly and honestly. Sean.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning, I'm going to be in Newark this Saturday. So UFC 302, if you didn't see this beforehand, hopefully you saw this after, and that's the reason why you're watching this. And hopefully you continue to watch our episodes. So also, if you're watching now, like, subscribe, tell us what you liked about this episode so we can go forward and put some cool shit in the next episodes for you guys. I'm looking for my uncle fighting up the street. He always fights up the street from my house. He beats up on random people. So
just the elderly.
Forward to that. Yeah, just the elderly.
And once again, we will be doing a giveaway for this UFC event pay-per-view. For pay-per-views, we tend to do giveaways, so we're going to be doing another one. Pay attention to us on the X platform and even on Instagram. You see all our ads there. And in the meantime, it's been a good time. We'll see you next time. All right.
Connect with us.
Connect.